Here I am, folks. I'll tell you up front, I'm not a public speaker, but I'm going to lay some things on you that's on my heart today. Brother Mark come to me a couple of days ago and asked me what would I come up and do my testimony, and I said, which one? He said, well, whichever one you want to give. So I said, well, I guess I better start off by telling you the one where the Lord saved me. But the troubling thing about it, he gave me only 3 measly minutes. And I said, how in the world can I come up here and tell y'all what the Lord has done for me and my family in 3 measly minutes? But I'm going to try to abide by that. Ronnie, do you know a G on that thing? That's for God. About 7 or 8 minutes, if I go over, would you hit that, please, sir? I heard something I'm going to add this morning that kind of hit me in the face. I received the Lord a long time ago, but I heard, I forgot who said it in the church about their son, where they received salvation, and they put their salvation in their pocket. Well, I'm guilty of that. I did that. I'm ashamed of it, but I can tell you it's not going to happen again. My testimony is probably like most of y'all's. It's just maybe a little different wrinkle or two in there. So y'all just bear with me. And I made some notes, by the way, because I'm 65 years old, and the little remembering things sometimes don't work. So I have to kind of put some things down. So y'all just bear with me on that. The first thing I'll say is I'll remind you of a song, and it kind of hits me in the face. It's about me, and it says, once I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. I've wasted a lot of time in my life by not following what the Lord wanted me to do, but I'm kind of coming around a little bit before I get too old. I'll tell you little things about my parents. I was born to Robert and Sybil Taylor. They was as good a parents as you ever want to have. My mama, at least in my mind, was borderline in being a saint. My daddy was a good man. He didn't have a whole lot of education, at least by school standards, but he had more common sense than most people. He had one problem in life, and his priority for 40 plus years was he let alcohol rule his life. That took away some fatherly time from me and my brother. But the roads that I went down that I shouldn't have went down, I don't blame anybody but me, because those choices are ours, and God gives us those choices, and I made those choices. I'll say as a youth, I'm like most of y'all. We were brought up in church. We went to Sunday school, the normal things like that. But as a youth, I've got my notes that says that I was young and dumb, and I was. I wanted to walk my own path, and that's the part of where I put my salvation in my pocket, and I didn't follow what the Lord wanted me to do. That road led me to follow a group of guys. They were good guys. There was nothing wrong with them, but we were mischievous. We got into things that we shouldn't have got into. We done things that we shouldn't have done, as all of you had. I think back, and I wish that there was times that I could get a lot of that back, but I can't. So they're done. 2 of those guys, it's sad for me. There's 2 of those guys that I ran around with that are no longer with us. I can't stand before you and tell you that I even know where they are. That's a shame on my part, but I don't. But I always, even though we were mischievous, I always felt as though that was not the way that the Lord wanted me to go. He tugged on me and tugged on me and tugged on me, but for a long time I wouldn't listen. I had to do it my way, and it got me in trouble a lot of times. But there was one Sunday morning at church, and we went to Parkway Church, by the way. The Lord was speaking to me in a way that He's never spoke before. I don't know that I heard a whole lot of the sermon. I can't repeat it to you. But when the invitation time came, I don't even think I waited till the piano player hit the note for the song. I think I jumped up out of that aisle and I ran. And coming down those aisles, I thought about that. There's people that hinders themselves from coming down these aisles because it's it's kind of a nervous thing to do. But when the Lord gets on you, you can't not go. You can't. But I ran down that aisle, and there was a young deacon at that church that most all of you know, that made it so much easier when I got down there, because we talked about some things, and I explained to him my position, and he kind of talked me through it and told me that there was a better way. And that from that moment on, I accepted the Lord, and I decided to do it His way, which is the best way. Sin free? No, I'm not sin free at all. I make mistakes each and every day. But God explained to me down there that morning in front of the church that because of His unlimited grace, He allowed my past to be put behind me. He washed away all them ugly stains that I had. And because of that, I stand before you now a saved man. In conclusion, oh, and by the way, is Teresa here? Teresa Henry? She was hiding from me. The young deacon that I ran into the arms of was none other than Ab Henry. That's gone on now to be with the Lord. But I was so glad that he was down there. It just made that walk a lot easier. But I'll conclude in saying, do you understand that when you give your life over to the Lord, Satan ain't happy. He ain't happy at all. Matter of fact, he's mad because he lost a soul. But he'll peck on you, and he'll peck on you, and he'll peck on you each and every day of your life. He knows he can't get you back, but one thing that I warn you that he can do is he can ruin your witness. He can ruin your witness. I struggle each and every day to keep myself accountable to the Lord, and He helps me out, and I know that you people will do the same, and I'll do the same for you. I'm blessed beyond measure, more than I can ever say. God gave me a good wife. I don't know where she is. I hope she's here. Yeah, I see her hiding back there. I didn't deserve her by a long shot, but I got her. I got her starting in the 7th grade. I began to corral her in. I got 2 great children. Hadn't had a whole lot of trouble out of them. I'm sure there's things they're done that I don't want to know about, but and for years I always hoped that God would lead 2 people into my children's life as their spouses. And they did that. Oh, I have a great son-in-law who's here, and I have a daughter-in-law that's with my son in Jackson. I couldn't have asked for 2 better people. They love my children, and they provide for them, and I can't ask for anything any better than that. But that's not the good part. What about them grandchildren? I've got 2 of them. I didn't know what that was all about till I got them, and that's a blessing. I know a lot of y'all have got that, and y'all can agree, but it's a blessing for them grandchildren. And I hope one day that the Lord's going to leave me here long enough. I know one day He'll call me home. But I hope the Lord leads me here. And oh, by the way, Carol and I also turn up rocks. And we turn up logs every day hunting for more grandchildren. I know they're out there. But the Lord's going to provide us with those when the time comes. But I hope before the Lord calls me home, whenever that is, and I don't have any say-so about that, I hope He leaves me here long enough to see that my children, my grandchildren, know the Lord and receive their salvation. I want to be here long enough to be a part of that. I'm going to tell you something that I heard. I was going to say steal, but I don't think that's the word to say in church. I'm going to borrow this saying from an older guy that said he wanted this on his tombstone, and I thought this was the most neatest thing I've ever heard. I want to be remembered by this. Whenever the Lord calls me home, I want people to remember me, and I think it's true for us all. We're born dead, but we died living. And that's what I want, is for everybody to know that I left this world, died living, and that's what I want. One day, the Lord's going to call me home, and I'm ready to go. When I get there, I want to first of all go talk to Him, and I want to hear whatever He's got to say to me. And I hope it's well done. I hope that. And then I want to go see my mom and daddy. I want to talk to them about the things that's been going on up there. I miss my mom and daddy each and every day. Here's the thing, church. I'm going to heaven one day. I don't know when. But I want each and every one of you to go with me. Whatever I've got to do, if there's anything that you need to talk about, I want you to go with me. If you have chains in your life, I can tell you this, and this is a song. I told Suzanne about this morning. We all have chains in our life. The Lord broke the chains for me. If you have chains in your life that's preventing you from coming here and getting your life right with the Lord, I can tell you, as Ab Henry told me, I know a chain breaker, and he'll break those chains. I'll close by saying, are you ready, church, to meet the Lord? Are you ready? I hope so. I appreciate your time.